Okay, so hey guys and welcome to this week's video. So basically I'm going to be going over all of the enclosures that I have for my animals, and I will be just telling you guys about their tank setups and, you know, the brand of the tank, the brands of the things that are in their tanks. And so obviously I have quite a few tanks and stuff, so I may not be able to remember the brands of everything, but if there's a specific item that you want to know price, brand, or where you can get it from, just leave me a comment asking me about it down below, and I will do my best to tell you guys more about it, but, you know, we'll see. So yeah, let's go look at some of these tanks. So here is the first tank. This is for my adult crested gecko. So I'll just go over. I'll start with this entire tank is a Zilla tank. Zilla tanks typically have sliding screens, which you can see these black things that look kind of weird on the side are supposed to be from a sliding screen. However, I got this tank from a friend and the screen was broken and missing. So I had to buy a separate screen, a replacement screen, and it just like pops on, pulls off. They don't make replacement screens that slide, which is really stupid in my opinion. So we have replacement screen, Zilla tank. This is a 20-gallon long and it is set on its side. 20-gallon longs are 12 by 12 by 30. And so first thing that I feel like is pretty noticeable when you look at this cage, you have these bamboo bars going across and diagonal. That didn't make any sense, but you guys get what I mean. So I think these are flukers. They have like suction cups and stuff in their spring loads so they can extend a little bit longer or shorter depending on where you're putting them. And yeah, I really like them. I think that they're good to fill up that middle space that a lot of times is missed if you are just putting leaves and vines. So next we'll do my biggest plant, which is right here. This is a silk plant. I forget what type of plant it's meant to be. Obviously it is fake. It is the largest that you can go. And honestly, for anyone who's doing a tank like this, I would recommend just buying like 3 or 4 of these. Yeah, at least 4 of these really big ones and just sticking them. I have that really big one, and then the rest of mine are like mediums and a couple of them are smalls. And it's really just a big pain because it makes more individual leaves. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 5 of these yellowish tipped ones. And these are really the stereotypical things that you see in a lot of people's crested gecko cages. I don't know what brand they are, but they're literally sold at like any pet store. I have like 2 smalls, 2 mediums in there, I think. And then we have another silk one up along the side right here. I really only bought the silk ones because I wanted to give it a bit more plants in there. I didn't want it all just to be one plant. I wanted to give it a little bit of diversity because I think that looks better. Now next, it's kind of hard to see, but like up here, coming down here, there is a vine in there. You can kind of see right there, it was like chewed on by crickets. So I think it's actually fallen. I think it was up higher, but I have that vine. I don't really know what the brand is. Then we have a piece of cork bark right here, which is dirty, but we're just gonna ignore that. Don't know the brand, but cork bark is really good. I really like it. Then we have this little rock thing right here. This is just like a hide. It's low to the ground. You can take the side off and look at the gecko. It's magnetic. I feel like in the back of my head I know the brand, but I really can't remember. And then I just have food dish, water dish. I always offer a water dish just because I have seen them drink out of it before, and I think it's important because you won't be spraying down the cage 24/7 obviously, so I want them to be able to get water whenever they really need it. And I have him on cypress mulch, which Forest Floor is the brand, and then I have sphagnum moss in there to help keep the humidity up. So with this tank, there's really one major thing I want to do with it, but overall I'm really not sure. Basically the screen is kind of annoying. It really lets humidity out and it's kind of just a pain to clean and everything. So I've seen videos on how to make basically something that would kind of resemble an Exo Terra with acrylic for the front, and that would definitely help keep in moisture and stuff. Now I'd really like to do that for the front of his tank, But what I'm thinking is maybe making it into a natural tank. Natural tanks you don't have to clean and stuff because you have like isopods, I think that's what they're called, that will eat the gecko waste and such. And I was really debating about it, and I was like really on board with doing that a while ago, but now I'm not really sure if I want to switch them over or not because it is a huge project. It's very expensive, and I just don't know if I'm cut out for it. But that is the first tank done. So here we have my second crested gecko tank. He's not even a year old yet, so he is in a smaller tank. This is an Exoterra 12 by 12 by 18. Yeah, this is actually Scotchy's old cage, which was my older crested gecko. So first off, we have this piece of cork round. It's actually rounded and there's a hole in the middle so he can go and climb in there. I'm not really sure if he ever has, but I mean, it's there if he wants to. Next we have this piece of like slate rock. I don't really know. I got it from one of my friends. I just put it there so that way he can kind of have like a visual barrier if he wants to hide back here. I don't know how well you can see that. There may be some reflection. So next we have this vine that's draping throughout the entire enclosure, and I really love this because if you look at like Scotchy's cage, like I said, it's very normal for people to get vines like that that just suction cup up there. Most of them are the green with the yellow tips. But I really wanted something different in his tank. I really wanted a different look. And so I found this vine that is supposed to be a pothos plant, and I think it's actually meant for chameleons. And I really love how it makes the tank look, but it is really annoying to fight with. I believe it's also flukers, but I'm not really sure. Next, I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here we have a skull. It's kind of really hard to see. It's like a primate skull. Normally I part the leaves so that way it's easier to see because I really like how it looks in the tank, but the leaves have fallen since. But yeah, I want to say that skull's by Zoomed, but I'm really not sure. Then I have him on Cypress Mulch as well. Back here, I actually have one of those stereotypical yellow tipped vines. And then I have water dish, food dish, and I think that's it. His is pretty simple. Of course, I have temperature humidity gauges on here. Once he gets bigger, I'm not sure if I'm moving him into a 20. He may have to wait like maybe till I move out, so like potentially in 2 years before he actually gets upgraded into a 20 gallon. I'm not really sure. And if I do move him into a 20 gallon, I'll probably buy one. This is the ones with the side screen. I'll do what I was talking about, making a new screen for Scotchy's cage. I'll do that in that tank, and then I'll move Scotchy into the new tank and him into Scotchy's old tank. So that way Scotchy doesn't have to go into a temporary tank or anything. He can just stay in his tank until the new one's ready. And yeah, I may or may not go into a natural viv. I have thought about making this one into natural because it has the space here for like hydro balls and stuff. But I think it's a little bit small, and with the background and everything, I wouldn't want to crowd it too much. So this tank won't be turned into a natural one, but maybe he'll be moved into a natural one. Next, we have my fish tank. So this is a 2.5 gallon. It is acrylic, which don't think I'm ever gonna buy another acrylic tank in my life because it does have scratches on it, and I don't know where they freaking came from. So there's my fish. I was wondering where he was. So first off, we have this floating lotus flower. That is like, it's supposed to be beta safe and stuff. I actually have no clue. I also backtrack a little. I think this tank is made by Aqueon. I know it's not made by Tetra, I can tell you that, but it's made by Aqua something. I don't know. So yeah, we have this lotus flower supposed to be beta safe. It's attached to a piece of fishing wire so that way you can't see it and it just kind of looks like it's floating. Then we have a thermometer over here for the water, and then he's watching me. Then we have this little coral thing. I think it looks really cool, and at first I was really trying to go with more of a naturalistic look, but I really like how it looks in there. It adds a little bit of color and it makes it a little bit more interesting, and he really likes hiding in it. We have another hide over here. This is a moon tunnel. It's literally called Moon Tunnel, so if you're wanting it, I'm pretty sure you can easily look up Moon Tunnel for fish and it will come up. It actually glows in the dark, which I'm beginning to wonder if that's okay for the water, but obviously he's still kicking, so I'm gonna assume that's alright. Then we have this plant back here. It's silk, or like, yeah, I guess silk, so that way he doesn't hurt himself on it. Then of course we have his heater. I think the brand of his heater is Tetra. Don't worry, when I did that I wasn't actually like tapping hard, it's just a little pat. And then we have another plant in there that's probably not as safe. It was in the beta section, but I'm pretty sure someone put it in there and that was not actually meant to be in there, because it is a plastic plant and I think it could definitely tear his fins, but nothing's happened yet, so I'm trusting that it's okay. And then you can't really see the filter, but back there is the filter, which just came with the tank. Probably won't recommend it for betas. He's adjusted to the water flow all right, but I would definitely say if you're getting a beta, get the Tetra Whisper filter. It's a little bit annoying and kind of loud, but it's still pretty good because you can adjust water flow. And I'm gonna say I'm just not gonna recommend this tank just because the filter is harsh, and this light, I don't know if it's just me, but this light that goes on top like literally dies like 2 days after I replace the battery, so I've given up on it. As for Sushi's tank, obviously he's on white gravel, I almost forgot to say that. My dream is to put him into a planted tank. I feel like the way his tank is currently shaped, I don't think I could do plants in it. I just don't think it would look, yeah, I don't think it would look quite right if I tried to plant this tank. So he's gonna have to wait, and if I ever get him a new tank, I will 100% plant it and it will 100% be glass. So I don't really know if he'll ever actually get into a planted tank, because I most definitely have to wait till I move out before I even think about a planted tank, because that will take up more space and it will be a little bit more complicated. And so yeah, if he can hold on until I move, then yeah. I was really thinking about maybe doing a divided tank with him, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how things go, but that's that. So, please excuse the glare, guys. No matter where, I'd have to pull this entire tank out off of the shelf that's on in order to get the glare to stop. And it's really not worth it. So, this is my hermit crab tank. So, temperature humidity gauge. They are on a mix of Eco Earth and some sand, Vita sand in there. Then we have this dish is, this dish is salt water. This dish back here is fresh water. That dish back there is fresh water. I feel really weird that you can see me in the reflection. I don't like it. So yeah. I bought this as a set, as a their hermit crab kit. So both of these bowls, the tank, all came together. It's by Zoo Med. So then we have this vine back here, which actually this broke off of one of Scotchy's vines. I just threw it in there because I thought I'd give them more cover to hide on. These plants back here were clipped off of Sushi's plant, which is my betta fish, and Scotchy's the crested gecko, in case I'm confusing you guys, sorry about that. So yeah, these were actually clipped off of my betta fish's plant because the fake plant was kind of really big, and so I clipped off some of it so that way it wouldn't take up so much of the tank. Then we have 2 extra shells here. I don't know what brand they are, but they are there. They're one of those things that you can buy in like a pack. I want to be giving them more shells actually. And then this blue thing over here is a climbing thing. So yeah, this is a Zoo Med tank. It's a 12 by 10 by 20. So it's a 10 gallon. I think it's a 10 gallon tall. And as for their tank, I am really not happy with it at all. I feel like it's definitely missing out on the potential that has to be. The crabs, like anything that is not bolted down, they will try to move. They try to bury everything. Like literally, they were trying to bury this blue thing. I'm like, guys, with the crab. So, the reason you don't see them in here is because they're obsessed with digging, even though they're not in molt. I don't know, I really want to do something spectacular with this tank. I really wanted to make it look naturalistic. Obviously, I don't think it really looks naturalistic at all. I'm thinking about maybe adding a second story. I've seen a lot of people with second story hermit crab tanks, but I'm just not really sure how to go about that just yet. But this is a work in progress 100%, and it probably will change before I move out, so if anything's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to this tank. So yeah, I'm just gonna film this outro on the floor because I almost forgot to do it altogether. So yeah, I hope you guys liked that video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!